Welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is Andy 245, and this is Module 9. We're continuing blocking out our jump forward animation. So we're just blocking this out. It's a very simple block out. We've got our neutral frames. Basically, 1 is neutral, 30 is neutral, 40 is neutral. Now, these are neutral idles, meaning they are moving a little bit. Like a holding movement, which we're going to add later. But right now, we're just getting our block out. So we've got keyframes 1, 30, 40, and 55 is the anticipation, the down movement. And then we have 65, which is our character lunging forward, still connected to the ground. That's the main keyframe. Now our character is a little different in length as far as legs go, but the basic pose is the same. And I don't have the arms exactly where I want them, but I've just got them there for, I'm just worried more about the positioning of the character and the timing right now. And then 71. So that was 66 on the stretch that you can see here. 71 on the jump. This is the apex. The character has actually reached the top, basically weightless for a microsecond or two, and then gravity takes him, brings him back down, and this is at 77. That's the contact. So I think the timing is good. I worked on it for quite a while to get that timing right. And then 84, of course you can kind of mess with the timing too as well, just a little bit here and there, but I think it's pretty close. And then 84, we got full compression where the character hits the ground, then compacts, and then we've got the recovery started. So this is 110, 110, frame 110. And then full recovery as at frame 127. Now, we noted he steps forward. Okay, 1-2. It's kind of a 1-2 step. Right now, I just got him sliding. You can see that. So he's going to be moving forward 1-2 steps. So it's kind of like it's from the momentum and it's 1-2 step, right? So we'll have to see how that looks. It looks like it's a little slow getting up. But when you add the 1-2 step, watching the video over and over again, I finally got that. I think I got that timing. Now again, this timing isn't set in stone. This is just to get us started. Okay. So again, I'll talk about the keyframes we have. We've got frame 1. We've got default. We've got a neutral stand. Frame 30. It's basically neutral right now until we add some idle movement, holding movements, and then that from 30 to 40, there's a lean forward kind of anticipation of what might be happening, to let the audience know something's going to be happening. He's thinking about something. I think he moves his head down too as well. And then 55, we're down, anticipating the jump. Okay, arms are back, and then we've got frame 65 where the arms are out. And you can see that we've got the legs still planted on the ground, which is good. And if you have any sliding feet, it's okay. Basically, if you go into the graph editor, you can flatten those arcs out, make sure they're not sliding. All right, and then 66, we've got the lunge out, a lot of power, and then 71. Frame 71, we're in the apex. That means he's weightless a little bit right there. He can't go any higher. And then we've got 77 when he actually makes contact with the ground. Kind of a weird thing. Now, I don't have his arms back or anything yet. I just wanted to keep them there for now. But if you have them back a little bit or to his side, it will look, you'll have a really nice overshoot or overlapping animation and follow through. Okay, So we're going to be, you should be working on that too as well. So I just wanted to help you with the timing. The rest of this is yours. Watch the video over and over again. And I'm going to place the video also in module 9 so you guys can have it and watch it and watch it and watch it. Just that part, so you don't have to watch that other video. Okay. All right, and that is that. And then I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. You have to do the rest yourself. I helped you with your timing, helped you with getting started with keyframing. You can use forward kinematics on the arms if you wish, or inverse kinematics. I chose to do IK, which is kind of strange, but I was having all kinds of issues with rotational values with animating this thing, the character, with this particular jump. Usually the FK works great when you're doing walk cycles, but the extreme between this one and that one, between this pose and this pose, caused a lot of problems with rotational values with the FK. Of course, you can do it, and there are ways. You kind of have to do in-betweens to get it to work properly and get a nice arc, because that arm does swing in an arc. We're also going to have to go into the graph editor and make sure we get a nice arc here when he's jumping. Okay, so you can do all that in the graph editor. Okay, so at this point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to go, instead of side by side, like what I have here, you're going to have to go in there and just double check everything and make sure that all your keyframes, when I go backwards, all those keyframes look good. You don't have anything out of place or something, because from the side view you can't tell if your hands are going through their body or something's going on. So just double check all your main keyframes and make sure you have, let's say the knees are in the right position, you've got the elbows in the right position right behind the elbows at all times. And I kind of watched that while I was animating. Let me get into this one so it's a little bit better, easier to see. So you can see his knees are in front all the time, and then I can see that I don't have any issues anywhere. I'm just kind of going around the character, just double checking everything. Something I don't see or I don't like what I see. Again, you're gonna have to make some changes with the hands, and we're just doing timing. This is not like polishing. This is just basic block out. And I think it turned out pretty good. And of course I might want to make some changes here. And I've got, every time, and when I make changes, I usually use the step back one key when I go back. That way I hit the keyframes and I don't, and the problem I have that I see with students is that they don't get right on the keyframe. So they don't use the step back or the step forward. And then when you have auto key, this is where it gets you in trouble. So let's say I think I've got to 60 and it's at 61 and I move this. Well, it creates an automatic keyframe if you move anything at 61, and I'm like, man, what's that key for? Because I don't remember doing that. So use your step back keys, because that will make sure that you are on the right key. Okay, it'll just hit that right key all the time. And it's 55, kind of looking back and seeing everything, making sure everything's looking good, and so on and so forth. And then we have our standing pose. All right, that's our block out. Let's watch it and see, and see what it looks like. There we go. And it's sliding, but it's going to be a 1-2 step forward, and I guess there's going to be a step forward here. You can almost kind of see it, and then there's a step forward there. Now the end might be a little bit too slow getting up. I'll have to see, and you'll have to make that judgment as well. And just make sure your timing feels right. See how it looks. And of course it looks really weird without that step, but I think it's going to look pretty good with that step in there. 1, 2. It might be a little bit slow, but we'll have to see. Anyway, you know how to fix all that stuff? Okay, so with this now, you got to a point where you're good. You don't really need the reference. Maybe you do. But you really need to have is that video. So I'll have that. I should have that in there for you. And I'll post that. for you, and you guys can watch that over and over again to get the rest of the animation with the arms and everything else. So again, this is just a block out. Okay, so we need a graph editor. I don't know, however you want to work, you can have it. I usually put it on the bottom. It's probably the best way to go. So I'm going to go to panels. Let's do layouts. Single pane, 2 pane stacked. There we go. And this one we want to be the graph editor, because that's where you're going to be working on. It'd be really nice if you have a dual monitor and you had another monitor to place it over to the other side. Let's see here. We want to look for panel. We want the graph editor. There we go. So you can see all the keyframes that we have. And I think the main one I'm really interested in is this one here. I mean, I can see where I've got some weird stuff going on in here. But the block out, get the block out looking good before you do anything else. And you can kind of tell when you're playing the animation, you can kind of follow along in here where those issues are. And there is that issue right there, and I can stop it. Let's go ahead and stop it and play it a little bit and then stop. And then you can see, you can play here and you can go in there and see the issue that you might be having. Might translate Y in that. There we go. So there's the arc, and it's, it's okay. You can see that in there. We got kind of got some stuff in here, like we can mess around with this a little bit, just to kind of make it a little more fluid, stuff like that. And you can see that really makes a difference. Look at that. So that's how you can kind of mess with this stuff to get it the way you want it. And again, of course, if you do the weighted, so we did unweighted. So if we did the weighted, we could go in there and really stretch this out, and I think that's probably what you want to do. To create a weighted tangent on a non-weighted tangent, you can click on it, make sure it's highlighted, and right click over it and go to weighted tangents. What that's going to do is going to allow you to go in here, select your tangent handle, and move it around, and you can really push that. And while you're doing that, you can check to see how it reacts to that particular what you just did. So I'm just focused on the translate Y. That's really important to me because that's where he's moving up. Okay, so you can really push that, stretch it out as far as you can. There's only so much you can do it, but you can make it more narrow too if you want to. So you make changes in and then you just play to see how it reacts. And that was actually worse. It had a little bump in there. So when I stretch this out, maybe I can go like this, maybe have him go up and come down, go up faster, and come down. Let's take a look at what that does. Sometimes you just got to do a lot of experimenting. You guys just are too afraid to do that, and you shouldn't. I'm just going to play this over and over again until I get just the arc that I want. Now, sometimes it's hard to tell from the front view, so might have to go to the side view. Or the front view. I think we have the front view, I think. Yeah. There we go. To see what that arc is really like in there. So I'm going to click on that guy again and translate. Kind of lost that a little bit. Start from the beginning and see how that looks. Okay. It just, whatever works for you. That's what you got to go by. If it's not high enough, then this is how you move it. You can just move that up, flatten that out a little bit more, and try it again and see what that looks like. That might even look even better. So I think that does look better. Yep. Okay. So you get the idea, and just don't be afraid of using this thing. You know, if this doesn't look right, you can move that back. Again, you can see it snapping, moving back and forth. Just be careful. What you're doing it's gonna have a snowball effect on everything else that you use. Okay. All right. You can stretch out timing, slow things down, speed things up going this way, slow things down going this way. So you can select these and move these around. Again, be careful, right? Make sure you don't have anything. Make sure you get everything on the back end. Scaling is good in here. It looks really good. So you just do one little thing and just play it out, watch it, see how it reacts to what you just did. Instead of doing too much at once. Okay, and that part that I kind of mess with is not what I wanted. As you can see, those legs go up a little bit. All right, so make those adjustments, but be careful and make sure you save your work. Anyway, with that said, just start evening these things out. If your foot slips now, again, these are steps at the beginning and steps at the end. So I'm going to fix that as well. And watch the reference video, and that's what you got to go by. Offsetting is something that's you're going to be doing a lot of in polishing and overlapping animation, especially at the end, and good anticipation in the beginning. So, like I said, have fun and enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.